We need to put some Holdo maneuvers.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Holdo Maneuver Podcast. This is going to be episode, I believe, 63. So this one, we're no longer with Zack Snyder. We're back with
we may have recovered from that.
But we are with a Bad Batch. And so, but before we get into this, Mike has something he wants to tell us.
Gotta ask you something. Why do you think so many people applied to work on the Death Star?
Good health benefits?
Well, I mean, I heard the opportunity was explosive.
Yeah.
Took a minute to load that.
Sorry, just like the comprehending the joke. But yeah, so this week we're going to be talking about
It'll be one like 10 minutes from now. I'll be like, oh.
Yeah. About the trailer for the final season of the Bad Batch. That's going to be starting here very soon on the 21st, I believe.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so
Just about.
Mike and I will be talking about that when it comes out. We have some other stuff planned for March. That's very punny, as it were.
It's going to be crazy or mad, if you will.
Yeah. We have episode 66 coming up, so you might have to execute something during the episode.
I'd say hide your kids, but that's probably a bad message to send.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Just because of what happens during the 66 in Star Wars.
Put your youngling beers away, because not even they'll survive. But
Yingling?
No, it's in this joke. It's pronounced youngling. Anyways, so we're going to talk about the trailer here for season 3. So I will have Mike cue it up now.
Hold on!
You hold on.
I will not hold on.
So Mike, first, before we kind of clip through it, what did you think of the trailer?
I mean, it's very well executed. It gives you hope. It gives you promise for the season. It entices you. But, I mean, I struggle watching Bad Batch. For whatever reason, I just can't. Like, it's hard for me to buy into it fully. So the trailer, watching that, I was like, oh, I'd really watch this. And then my mind's like, you said that last time. But it's very well put together, and they cover all the bullet points they're going to try and address. It's their thesis statement, if you will. Like, this is what we're going to do in this season. Tune in to see if we do it. I noticed there might be some Rebels tie-in. Thought I saw a familiar droid.
Oh, Chopper.
Yeah.
Well, they've done some slight Rebels tie-ins here before because of like timeline where it is. We've had like Hera, like a little young Hera show up, and then we had like Kanan showed up like in the pilot.
And then another thing, I don't know how much time has passed between season 2 and 3. Is it pretty much immediately after? Do you know?
That I'm not sure. I thought I had heard someone or saw somewhere that it said it was like a couple or maybe a few years or so.
Because there is the line from Hunter, she's been with the Empire too long now, or something like that.
Oh yeah, like she's been there for a long time.
I mean, granted, any amount of time with the Empire is too long, but the way he said it made it seem like time has passed.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting with that. Maybe made you kind of think of like, because I'm also wondering if it's given them time to, as we're stopped here on the clip to properly grieve.
That's not someone falling to their death or anything. That's
no, just going skydiving without a parachute. But yeah, all right.
Riding the bull, Red Bull commercial.
Although, I mean, who knows? Maybe
he might not be dead.
Yeah, because
Force Ghost Echo.
We thought, who was it?
Palpatinas. Oh wait,
No, the other member of the Bad Batch that's been with them that's since left, um, who had people had thought had died during the Clone Wars. I want to say it was Fives. Let me double check really quick. But yeah, keep talking about the trailer where I looked that up.
essentially they're recapping Echo's death here, where he sacrificed himself to save the lives of others. The scene, which I don't know if that's what this other thing is queued up. I don't remember. He's essentially they're on that transport. Wrecker's like, don't do it, and Echo essentially is like, since when do we follow orders? And he shoots the cable, falling to his death to save the rest of the transport. So that's where we're paused, and it's like redemption storyline. Like, let's do it for Echo. It feels like. So that's what you're looking at. Down below us is that nice man falling to his death. Even though I'm pretty sure they changed the color on the scene we're looking at, because in the actual season, I thought it was like a snow bluish scene. So that's it. Don't know why. And maybe it's a flashback we're looking at, not the actual scene.
Yeah, they may have like updated it
Not
slightly.
wait, that's Tech. That's not Echo.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of. Echo is the one that I'm thinking of. Tech.
Just wait a second.
It's the one that fell. Yeah, I'm thinking of other stuff. But yeah. Tech is the one that fell. Echo
I didn't even notice until I rambled on about it.
But yeah. So Tech is a dearly departed buddy.
Tech's unplugged.
The Donatello of the Bad Batch, as it were. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see more there.
I have a feeling he'll come back in some fashion, whether it be like, oh, he's back and he saves them, or they get to a scene where the Empire is like, wait, you were with us, but he's been like brainwashed somehow, like reprogrammed.
Yeah.
New inhibitor chip installed.
Yeah, because we have Crosshair here in the trailer too, where like he just basically looks like super like defeated and whatnot.
Well, yeah, he aligned himself last season with the Empire, only to find out that they don't care about anything except their main mission. So he's expendable, I believe, is what he was told.
And he's like, "Wait, that's the wrong movie or TV show. I thought I was in the Bad Batch, not the Expendables." But
which ones were? He's in the better of the show, because I can't say Expendables is any good.
But yeah, so like he, Omega, and who we found out also who was Omega's sister, like a aged up, other female clone.
They're all the same person. They're not brothers and sisters.
Yeah, well,
they're all just the same person
in a sense, from a certain point of view. But yeah, so I'm assuming at some point there'll be maybe the three of them are gonna like team up and there'll be some kind of like breakout with the three of them.
Prison Break, another TV show.
Yeah. But yeah, because and then like you can kind of see like I guess like what Omega would look like growing up even further, since this is like a aged up like clone there. So
now, do we know if they like halted Omega's growth? Like she's gonna stay this size forever?
Yeah, I think she's essentially like Boba Fett, where like she wasn't given like the growth,
accelerator
like all of the other clones are or were.
I wasn't sure because obviously I don't know the whole. It hasn't been much time since we were first introduced to her now, so I can't expect huge growth, but just wasn't sure.
Yeah, and it seems like she is a little bit like older here too in this season.
Who's that
like,
guy?
Yeah, he may show up in the Mandalorian later on, just like her, Fennec Shand. So yes, so again, it seems like we're getting like Fennec Shand again here in this. Like we had her in season 1. I don't remember if she was in season 2. But Cad Bane showing up here as well too. We have somebody else that shows up here by the end of the trailer too that was presumed dead, due to different Star Wars books, which we can cut to her really quick.
I thought I saw who was the chick from Mandalorian who was like Moff Gideon's like inside person. They had that episode with the doctor who she like tricks and then wipes his mind.
Oh yeah,
What was her name?
maybe she'll show up. I know.
I thought I saw like her in cartoon form in this trailer, a brief clip.
I don't know if that would. I mean, no, I don't know. I'm not sure if that would fit, just because she would probably be.
No, well, Star Wars,
like,
you can make anything fit.
I mean, I guess unless she's like a clone too, because she could be like, because then she'd have to be 30 plus years older than that. But, yeah, we got Asajj Ventress showing back up here with a nifty yellow lightsaber. And she was also presumed dead from like different books that she'd been in. And
do the books count in canon for the stories, or is it just like they pick and choose with the books?
Depends on when they were released, I guess.
Because it seems like sometimes it's like, oh, this was in this book. Then other times it's like, this book said this, and we're like, F that. We're doing what we want.
Yeah.
With the books, they seem to pick and choose more than they do with the.
Because she's with Quaylen Voss, who we've like kind of heard of in like the Obi-Wan Kenobi live action series, who is another Jedi that she like teamed up with in the book series that she was within. And like in that, it's like believed that she sacrifices herself to save his life, basically taking like the brunt force of Dooku's force lightning during like a final confrontation that she has with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess not. Or maybe this happens before that. Who knows?
Or maybe it's not who we think it is.
Maybe it's
Case of mistaken identity.
Maybe it's an Asajj Ventress clone. Who's already force sensitive. They're working on that force sensitivity clones during this era. We get like little hints of Palpatine in this trailer too, kind of like talking about stuff like that, and talking with Sam Witwer's character in here, like about he's basically going to be given free reign to do whatever.
That still right there looks like Team America world.
Empire, if you're
That's what it looks like.
come on again to take down your plan here. But yeah, Sam Witwer's character here. But yeah, like it should be interesting too to see like how they incorporate Asajj Ventress here into like all the goings on in this season too. Because as far as I know, like she hasn't had any interaction with any of these characters in the past. I mean, outside of like, other clones that she would have interacted with in the Clone Wars.
I'm sure she's aware of them.
Yeah. It is cool to see her show back up. Asajj Ventress was always kind of like an interesting character, especially with like Dooku having this kind of apprentice. Dooku was weird too, because like Grievous was kind of, sort of, but not really his apprentice for a little bit there. And then he just more liked, having a collection of lightsabers.
They had an asthma problem somehow. A droid with an asthma problem.
Well, he's technically a cyborg because he had like some squishy parts.
Squishy parts.
Those were the parts that Ewan was, or not Ewan. Well, yes, Ewan, but Obi-Wan was able to shoot in such an uncivilized way and take out General Grievous in Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, like, it's 3-episode premiere. It's going to start February 21st. That's right. Squishy parts.
So I forgot the lie. Just the squish parts. Oops.
But I
We
believe
can edit that out.
nope, it's staying in. I believe season 3 is also going to be 18 episodes. Not 18 episodes, 15. Yeah,
It's
15
15 according
episodes.
to this.
Yeah, and they already
One
already
less than the
released.
others.
Yeah, and like some of them are like they're grouping some of them like to be aired at the same time. So like we have like this 3 episode premiere that's, and they released all the titles. So the episode premiere is Confined, Paths Unknown, and Shadows of Tantus.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get so we get 4 as A Different Approach, 5 The Return, and then episodes 6 and 7 are aired on the same day, on my wife's birthday. Infiltration and Extraction. So happy birthday to my wife, I guess, for the 2 Star Wars episodes.
Is there going to be some infiltration and extraction on her birthday?
And then so
No
episode
comment.
8, and we'll get Bad
I put
Territory.
this up for the answer.
9, The Harbinger. And then on the 3rd, we get another 2 episodes together, which are Identity, episode 10 and 11, Identity Crisis and Point of No Return. And then episode 12, we get Juggernaut. Episode 13, Into the
Wait, we're having
Breach.
an X-Men crossover?
Episode 14, Flash Strike, and then the series finale on May 1st is The Cavalry Has Arrived in episode 15.
Interesting. They're only doing a 1-episode finale. Maybe it's going to be long. Maybe it's going to be like an hour plus.
I think it's interesting that randomly in there, though, there's like 6 and 7 are paired together to release at the same time. And then the premiere is also 3 together. So like we get those
I wonder
first
if
3
they did it
episodes
to
one at a time for 2 weeks, and then 2 more on a week, and then everything after that. Oh, and then 10 and 11 are also paired together on the April 3rd. So I wonder if those groupings that they're doing specifically are just like very kind of heavily 2 sides of a story that really need to air at the same time that they thought. So that'll be interesting, I guess, as those episodes are kind of dropped, how they'll be. And I'm also wondering if they'll do like what they did with Ahsoka and Loki and whatnot, where it was like they released the episodes.
what's Loki? He doesn't exist in this universe.
I mean, he could. Who knows? Who's to say? Where so like it releases on Wednesday the 21st, but I wonder if that means that it releases actually on Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time, like some of these like the other shows, or if it'll just be like something like drops at night, like at midnight. So that's what I'm curious about here. With
I also am thinking they may have done it in a way so it's done by the time of our one of our news pieces release here, since that comes out on the 25th. It comes out in May around that time. The re-release, if you will, the anniversary release of Phantom Menace, 25 years.
Yeah, we're getting that 25th anniversary release of the Phantom Menace, which has now gotten 2 re-releases in theaters because it had the 3D re-release. I don't know, like it was probably for the 20th anniversary, or it might have been the 15th anniversary. I don't remember, but I remember I was excited because I really wanted to see Revenge of the Sith in 3D, mostly because there's like that one shot of Mace with the lightsaber that's like right at the screen. Like if people are watching the video of this, it's basically like what I'm doing, but with like the lightsaber. You just get like that lightsaber straight in your face. But I'm hoping that also then means, I guess, over the next couple of years we'll get a 25th anniversary re-release of Attack of the Clones in theaters, and then a 20th or 25th anniversary release of Revenge of the Sith in theaters. Because like technically next year is the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
I'm sure
So
they'll
they
do
could-
something.
So they could do
I
it.
mean, the 3D release of Menace was 13 years after. So
Yeah.
it's just a random. It's probably when the technology got good enough for Lucas to be like, let's do it.
The 3D on that was cool too, and the 3D glasses were cool because it was Anakin's pod racing goggles. So I still have those somewhere. And I remember I was really excited too because when those were coming out, I was like, cool, I'm gonna being able to bring my son each year because they were planning to do release one a year at a time, like when that happened, and then like they only did Phantom Menace in 3D. So I was like, oh, I at least got to bring you to see Phantom Menace in 3D. And then like eventually
they did a re-release in Australia 3 years ago. So,
Look,
they also did a
lucky.
marathon on May the 4th in Australia of the prequels.
Nice. But
I'm moving to
Yeah.
Australia.
just watch out for those kangaroos that will just beat the crap out of you for no reason.
It's fine. As long as I get to see all the Star Wars movies in theaters all at the same time, it's fine.
Well, there you go. Everyone has to dream. But yeah. So then they also released a clip here for season 3. We're just gonna kind of piece through it so that so this episode doesn't get dinged and take it down. But
I feel like David Wallace in The Office. I have not seen this.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be down here at all.
See.
Well, how else are we going to plan an escape?
Speaking of Australia, area adjacent with New Zealand, Omega's definitely from the New Zealand portion of the galaxy.
New Zealand portion of the galaxy, the Kiwi portion.
Yeah, which I do appreciate since like Tamara Morrison is from like the South Pacific around there too. So
He's from Tonga.
yeah, so I do kind of appreciate that like they did that with Omega. So it's kind of supposed to be like
Nope, New Zealand. Sorry.
yeah, all the clones have like this like Kiwi accent. They all just it'd be funny if like Taika Waititi just did a bunch of voices of a bunch of the clones. And they just all sound like Korg.
There is no we, and there is no escape. I've already tried.
Yeah, so like we were talking earlier, like we were like, oh, there's probably gonna be like a prison break with them. So obviously Omega's gonna be like, let's get the F out of here, Crosshair.
Get your ass out of bed.
He's like, no, I don't want it.
Every stronghold has a weak point.
Yeah, just like the Death Star. Just you know, you just got to get your dad to build it, and then so that he knows that he'll make a weak point in it, so that you and a bunch of your friends can come to get the plans for it
and shoot a photon torpedo blindly.
Well, first you're gonna die though.
You're
You
gonna
and your
die.
friends are gonna die, but you'll get those plans out,
You're gonna die.
and then the
Aquarius,
other rebels
You're gonna die.
they'll get to do it. And then this kid that was a farm boy, they used to shoot womp rats.
Bullseye womp rats and this.
Yeah, they're no bigger than that. That he's gonna do it. He's gonna shoot that pinpoint that you made. So you just gotta be playing 4D chess and looking like that. That's all you gotta do, Crosshair.
Maybe I can
Crosshair
convince
would have been
Emily
able to hit
help.
it.
She's one of us.
Not every clone is your ally. You trust too easily.
Maybe you
Yeah, so see, kind of guessed a little bit.
Hey, look, she's got a crosshair on her face. Is that symbolism? Is that foreshadowing?
Foreshadowing.
Or is it coincidence?
I do like that though too, where it's like you trust too easily. Not every clone is your ally. So that kind of like shows again too like these two different sides of like these characters where like Omega is just like she's not naive, but she's more
Unhardened.
yeah, she has like a brighter outlook and has like a deeper empathy towards
Not
others.
irreparably damaged.
You know, where Crosshair is just like
Well, it's funny because
He's been through it.
I don't know if it's funny or ironic or because Crosshair was a clone she trusted, and he was all F that. I'm going to the other side.
Yeah. And that wasn't even because, like, the Execute Order
Chip.
66 thing. He
Yeah.
was like, I just wanted to do that.
Yeah, so
that was fun.
that
at
was
the time.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't trust enough. Crosshair?
Just
Hello?
He's like, I'm talking to you.
Are you sleeping?
go. Before you make things worse for both of us.
Yep. I feel like another member of the Bad Batch is going to die before the end of the season.
Maybe they all die. Maybe they go out in a hail of bullets.
The real friends were the friends that we made die along the way. Also, Captain Rex is back in this season too, so it'll be interesting to see if they set up like where he ends up when we see him again.
He's got to become
Rebels
Santa
2.
Claus at some point.
Yeah, and then fight on Endor and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, one of them's gonna die, or something's gonna happen, or they'll be like reprogrammed, or some weirdness.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Who's to say? I don't have Dave Filoni's phone number anymore. He blocked me, so I can't call.
Yeah. But yeah, so that'll be the 21st that comes out. And then was there anything else that stood out to you, like in the trailer or the clip, that you wanted to bring up about the Bad Batch before we move on to the second?
I definitely feel like the end of this season's gonna build to something like the formation of something we've already had established, whether it be Rebels or something else. At the end of this, it's gonna be like, oh, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Something we've seen 100 times and not like we recognize it, but we don't know. It's just something that's been there. This is going to be like, oh, okay. That's who that guy was in episode 4, A New Hope. Like,
yeah, they usually do a very good job of kind of like tying and looping around things and whatnot, especially like how, like we were saying, how we're seeing Asajj Ventress in here, how we're seeing Cad Bane, seeing we saw Fennec Shand.
Filoni is doing, maybe not so much Favreau, he probably is involved in it, is they're trying to take everything and make it tie in to the main time, the central timeline, if you will.
Yeah.
The Skywalker saga timeline. Like they have all this other media, all this other various canon level things, and they're like, oh, we can tie this in here, we can tie this in here, this way. Like they don't have to do it by any means, but I think that's something goal of his is to make everything meaningful in some way.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I'm kind of hoping before like the end of the season 2 that we see Boba Fett meet either Omega or something like that, because I think that could be like an interesting story element to kind of play around with there for just for Boba Fett to see. Yeah, and just to meet like other, because like he already knows that he's a clone, and he knows that like he wasn't like given the age accelerated, but he hasn't met like a female version of him of themselves.
Are we gonna have a Loki moment where he makes out with himself?
I don't know. Who's to say? Who's to say? Because I mean, there's stuff that we still never saw from the Clone Wars that they could maybe try to incorporate in here. Although they had Boba Fett kind of face off against Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett. But there's like a deleted thing from the Clone Wars that you can find like the scene online where it's like a duel between Cad Bane and Boba Fett, where you see like how Boba Fett gets like the dent in his helmet too. So maybe they could rework that in here somehow, since we see that Cad Bane's going to be some way involved within this season, so that could be interesting there. But
now, having not watched Clone Wars myself, did it go into, because Boba Fett in the prequel trilogies is still a kid when he picks up his dad's head.
Yeah.
So the Clone Wars continue on after that, essentially. It's just a continuation, like Revenge of the Sith happens, then it keeps going.
He's essentially the around the same age as Omega is here.
Okay, so he's still a kid.
Yeah, because there's like plot elements in those seasons where like he's like trying to get revenge on Mace Windu, and then like finds like the bounty hunters and becomes like part of like a group which has like Cad Bane in it as at a certain point. And like Asajj Ventress is actually in there at one point too, as like part of like the bounty hunters after she leaves, becoming a kind of not Sith. But yes, so
still maintain, knowing what we know now, Boba Fett isn't really a Mandalorian. He's just put his dad's stuff.
At least not from the same sense that like Din Djarin is. But that's a good segue.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
Fell ass backwards into something.
So what's happened since the last time we recorded is that they announced that there's going to be a movie starring Grogu and Din Djarin. That's going to be appropriately titled The Mandalorian and Grogu, which
a buddy cop adventure.
Yeah, it'll be the next Star Wars movie to hit theaters, and it's coming. It's likely to hit, in 2026. So I don't know if that then means this takes place of season 4, or this is the only.
Well, didn't they also say season 4 of Mandalorian will be like 12 episodes in a movie?
Yeah, so like I don't know if like, yeah, so like I'm just wondering if like if that just means like there's not seasons of The Mandalorian between now and 2026, which I don't recall like what the widest gap in between the seasons was so far, but that I don't know, it just seems like a kind of a big.
I mean, they're even tentatively slated to begin principal photography this year for the season 4. So we're not getting anything until at least 2025.
Okay. Yeah, so like, because following the conclusion of the 3rd season, we basically had like a definitive conclusion and kind of like an open-ended denouement with it. So like we had Bo-Katan had basically brought the Mandalorians together under her leadership, aiming to restore their lost homeland on Mandalore. And then Din and Grogu chose a peaceful existence on a farm. I'm sorry?
To live in a shack.
Oh, yeah. Far from the battles involving Darksabers or Jedi Masters. And quick aside, but not to like overpass it, is that it'll be interesting to see.
Will we have a Grief Karga memorial?
Yeah, because with the
death
of Carl Weathers recently, unfortunately.
Maybe he's finally getting that stew.
Yeah, got a stew going. Yeah, like
got his hand back, got a stew going. He's a boxing legend again. Man, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, shut up, Happy. I got my hand back. But
so
yeah.
Basically, season 1 and 2 of Mandalorian were a year apart. 3 years between 2 and 3, so it'd be a similar timeline.
Yeah, and then
not to overshadow Carl Weathers' death with dates and releases.
Yeah, and like the other thing we don't know too is that like what all the movie's gonna be about, because we know that they also have that other film that's essentially like the Heart of the Empire film that's gonna have like everyone we've kind of met like within this Mandoverse, or I don't like calling it a Mandoverse because it's like in the Star Wars galaxy. So it's just like Mando era, I guess, um, that will come out. So it says, although the anticipated comeback of Thrawn might be reserved for the Filoni's film, it doesn't mean that a menace aching to Moff Gideon's shadow console won't prompt Din into embarking on one final journey, or more accurately, what might be his penultimate adventure. Yeah, so it should be.
Maybe Moff Gideon isn't dead. Maybe he's also a clone.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as
'cause
Palpatine doesn't come back.
because we have the James Mangold movie focused on the dawn of the Jedi, and then we have the Daisy Ridley led Rey movie from Sharmeen about Chinoy,
I thought they
which
put a
so
kibosh on that movie.
no, it's still coming out. So the Rey movie is coming out actually the same year as Mandalorian, which I think it like that year in 2026 there's a May Lucasfilm date and a December Lucasfilm date. So it seems like
Who's gonna win?
Well, it seems like the Mandalorian Grogu one is going to be
In May.
released in May because they said that one's going to be the next Star Wars movie that comes out, and then so it seems like the Rey one would be December.
That feels like a May release.
Yeah, and the Rey being in December makes sense too because like the sequel trilogy, all of those films were released in December, so it kind of.
What are you gonna say? Because she's from Jakku.
No. But that'll be interesting too, because this is kind of like the first time that they've done a TV series for a character and then segued that into a feature. So it'll kind of be kind of like a litmus test for the Dave Filoni movie too.
I think I kind of touched on this in our little group chat we have with the Trek Wars guys and gal. With Ahsoka, I don't know if they did it beforehand. They were not secretly, but in bigger cities, putting the episodes in theaters.
Yeah,
and that was like, I think that was Disney's way of being like, look, we can still make money on this because streaming is costing us too much money. So when they realized, oh, people are coming out in droves to see an episode of TV, they pivoted and been like, you're getting movies now. Like people are coming back. So which is cool. I mean, I wish I lived in an area I could have saw those in the big screen.
Yeah, I would have loved to seen like those episodes of Ahsoka with Hayden Christensen and whatnot, like on the big screen. That would have been awesome. Now the question is though, is Pedro Pascal gonna show up physically for the movie, or just in voiceover like has been for season 3? And
how big is the check?
Yeah,
how big?
Because I mean, allegedly he'll be busy with Fantastic Four for the next year or so.
Can't believe they're doing that again.
So we will see if we see Pedro Pascal in this movie as Din, because I feel like it's time that we see Din Djarin's face again. But
maybe,
yeah,
maybe someone should bring him in dead, warm or cold. Get him.
I'll be curious to see what they do for like a movie version of the Mandalorian and Grogu too, as opposed to like what they've been doing like within the series. Like I guess with like a movie budget as compared to the Disney Plus budget. And then who all also be involved? Like, will they have Bo-Katan show up in there too? Will they have anyone?
Part of me feels their budget's going to be similar, so we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm assuming that not Gideon, but that Greef Karga probably would have been in there too. Which
they'll have some. I'm sure they're not going to totally leave him out. Maybe he'll be a hologram. Maybe he'll be something.
Hopefully his statue on like IG
isn't cannibalized.
11's isn't like parts of Greef Karga as like the actual statue.
It's gonna be him.
Unless
standing
it's just
there
like his jacket like on the statue.
Yeah, he'll be like all his various movie forms. His arm will be like Apollo Creed. His other arm will be Chubbs' hand. It'll
be all the things.
That'd be hilarious if they open up. Karga's dead, and this is all we have left, and they just throw his hand on the table. I don't know. That'd be funny to me.
IG-11, Grief Karga, and Cara Dune all recently passed away.
Cara Dune's trying to sue her way back, though.
Yeah. Although what would be funny is if she got to be back, and then like the first episode, Cara Dune just dies in an explosion of like a ship or something. But anyways,
I enjoyed her character, despite the off-screen whatever this. Like, it sucks that it happened and she got written off, because I enjoyed Cara Dune, the character. I'll give her that. She was a good character.
Yeah. But I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the movie, because there's really not any plot elements for it yet. We still have Skeleton Crew that's supposed to come out sometime this year as well too, and the Acolyte. So I'm assuming we'll probably get more news on the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew at some point this year, and then next year we get season 2 of Andor as well too, which Diego Luna just posted that they finished filming.
And why am I not watching it yet? Why is it not in front of me?
Because you need a time machine and you'd have to go to the future to check that out. But
that's fine.
That seems like a good place to...
Then I can get the sports almanac and come back.
Yeah, there you go. Seems like a good place to wrap up the episode this week. You guys can leave us a review on the podcast catcher of your choice if it allows you to do so. Helps us out a lot. You can follow the show on social media at HoldoPod. It's that same handle really everywhere. And if you can just go to holdopod.com. If you can't spell holdomaneuver.com, they'll take you to the same place, which is our YouTube channel. And then Mike and I are both on all of those same social media places. Just add our names. Yeah, we're everywhere. And then you can also find our editor, Vector, there too. And you can email us at holdopod@gmail.com. But as always, we're grateful to George Lucas for creating the Star Wars universe.
Oh my, thank the maker.